chosen one. Pause for a moment. The noise around you, the endless scrolling, the distractions that tug at your attention. Heaven has interrupted it all right now. This is not coincidence. This is divine appointment. Every breath you've taken, every heartbeat that carries you forward, has been leading you here, to this exact moment. You are not ordinary. You are not random. And you are not forgotten. You are God's chosen one, set apart for a purpose that stretches far beyond what your natural eyes can see. Even when you questioned why life felt so heavy, why battles came at you relentlessly, why you felt misunderstood and overlooked, heaven already knew. You were marked. You were sealed. And now, the heavens themselves pause to lean in close, whispering your true identity. You are chosen. The enemy hoped you would believe you were abandoned. He whispered lies that you were overlooked, forgotten, or too broken to be used. But you know deep in your spirit that is not true, because the very fact you are here right now, hearing this, means heaven's eye is upon you. You were never out of his sight, not for a second. The word of God declares in the book of Joshua, chapter 1, verse 9, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged." You are not like the rest. That gnawing feeling of being different was never a curse. It was a confirmation. You were never meant to blend in. You were set apart, marked with divine fire. Your uniqueness is not weakness. It is evidence of heaven's fingerprint on your soul. And that difference, that light, it terrifies the darkness. So why is heaven pausing for you now? Because the next chapter of your destiny hinges on your yes. The final assignment cannot proceed without your agreement. Heaven never forces, it invites. And right now, the Spirit of God is inviting you to rise, to step into the fullness of who you are, to give your yes without hesitation. But here is the truth. Your yes does not just shift your own life. It shakes generations. It breaks curses. It sets chains, falling not only off you, but off those connected to you. Your yes is not small, it is cosmic. It activates angelic hosts, dispatches heavenly reinforcements, and causes darkness to tremble. The heavens are waiting. Beloved, the angels are standing by, their wings ready, their swords sharpened, their assignments pending, and all of it waits on one thing: your surrender, your agreement, your yes. This is why you cannot scroll past this moment. This is why your spirit is stirred right now, even as you hear these words, because something inside you knows you were born for this. You are not too late. You are not disqualified. You are not overlooked. You are exactly on time, and heaven is declaring that your season of hiding is over. Your season of silence is finished. Your season of questioning is being replaced with clarity. If this word burns within you, if your spirit says, "This is for me," then act prophetically in faith right now. Subscribe, share this message, and let it be a public declaration that you are aligning with heaven's plan. And as a seal, type this number in the comments: 777. For 7 is heaven's number of divine completion, and 777 is a heavenly confirmation that what God began in you, He will bring to fullness. Chosen one. The weight you've carried has not gone unnoticed. The world may have dismissed it. People may have overlooked it. But heaven has recorded every moment. There is not a single sleepless night, not a single tear shed in silence, not a single heartbreak you endured that has been wasted. You have walked through valleys others could not have survived. And still you are here, still breathing, still standing, still chosen. There were seasons when the heaviness felt unbearable, when your heart ached under the crushing load of expectations, disappointments, and betrayals. Many around you could not see it, because you carried it with quiet strength. You smiled while breaking. You encouraged others while you yourself were bleeding inside. You gave when you had nothing left. And though no one applauded those sacrifices, heaven saw. Angels wrote it down. God himself leaned in closer to you in those moments, whispering, "Hold on, beloved. I am with you." That is why you are different. You have not simply read about faith, you have lived it in the fire. You have not only heard about perseverance, you have carried it through storms. And because of this, your life carries a depth that others cannot understand. You know what it means to lose and still love, to hurt and still hope, to feel broken yet still believe. That kind of endurance is not ordinary. It is evidence of divine strength, shaping you for something far greater. People may have mistaken your endurance for weakness, but heaven recognizes it as training. Every time you refused to give up, you were being prepared. Every time you pressed forward, you were stepping closer to destiny. And though you may not realize it yet, your scars are not signs of defeat, they are marks of survival. Proof that you have been prepared for the calling that now stands before you. Hear this truth. Chosen one, the weight you carried was never meant to crush you, it was meant to carve you. It has shaped your heart into one that can carry compassion. It has formed in you a spirit that knows how to stand when others fall. It has given you authority in the unseen realm. For you carry wisdom birthed out of pain and power birthed out of perseverance. The Apostle Paul affirms in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 12, verse 9, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." Those words echo in your life. The very places you felt weakest became the very places God's power rested most strongly on you. That is why you survived what others did not. That is why battles that destroyed others only refined you. Grace carried you through when your strength was gone, and grace is the reason you are still here. Reading this, hearing the truth that you are stronger than you have ever realized, you must understand, the weight was proof of your assignment. Ordinary lives do not carry extraordinary burdens. The reason you were given so much to endure is because heaven intends to release so much through you. You were tested in private, so you could be trusted in public. You were broken in silence, so you could heal others openly. The pain you carried becomes the oil you now pour out. And though you may feel tired from the journey, know this: every battle was building you. Every setback was a setup. Every weight you carried was evidence that heaven has chosen you to carry something far greater than yourself. You are not crushed, you are crafted. You are not defeated, you are destined. And soon, the very burdens that felt unbearable will become the very testimony that sets others free. Chosen one, you must see the truth clearly. Now your life was marked from the very beginning. Even before you took your first breath, the Lord had already written your days. You were not born by accident, nor did you simply appear as another face among billions. You were fashioned intentionally, with care, with precision, with purpose. This is why rejection followed you so early. People may have misunderstood you. mocked you, or even cast you aside, not realizing they were responding to the mark of heaven upon you. You wondered, why can't I just fit in? Why do I always feel different? That feeling was never your imagination. It was your spirit whispering to you, reminding you that you were never meant to blend in, you were always set apart. As a child, you may have noticed you carried more sensitivity than others. You saw deeper, felt stronger, and discerned things others dismissed. That was not weakness, it was evidence of your calling. Heaven gave you spiritual sight. Even when you didn't yet understand what you were carrying, the loneliness you felt was not punishment, it was preparation. Think of how many times you were excluded, how often you felt isolated. What seemed like abandonment was actually divine separation. God did not allow you to attach to certain people or remain in certain places, because those environments could not contain the greatness planted inside you. You were always meant for more. The rejection you faced was a shield. The misunderstandings you endured were a signpost. The loneliness that broke your heart was also the space where heaven whispered secrets no one else could hear. You were being marked. You were being set apart. And even when you did not know it, heaven's hand was resting on your life. Scripture says in the Gospel of John, chapter 15, verse 16, "You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you." Think about the strength it has taken to carry what you've carried. Ordinary souls would have broken, but you endured. You didn't just survive, you grew. You learned. You matured in silence while others overlooked you. And now the season has come where the mark you carry will no longer be hidden. The very thing that once made you feel different will be the very thing that sets you apart in victory. This is the hour when you stop questioning your identity and begin embracing it fully. You must no longer see rejection as a wound. It was a confirmation. You must no longer see misunderstanding as failure. It was evidence of heaven's mystery on your life. And you must no longer see loneliness as abandonment. It was God's way of drawing you closer to Himself, where no voices could drown Him out. If this truth burns in your spirit, then I invite you now to declare it out loud in a prophetic act of faith. In the comments, write these simple words: I am chosen. Why? Because when you speak it, you align yourself with heaven's truth instead of the enemy's lies. When you write it, you seal it as a declaration that you accept the identity God already gave you. It is not about proving anything to others. It is about agreeing with heaven. Every time you affirm it, you are reminding darkness that you know who you are. Do not underestimate the power of such a small act. To the world, it is only words, but in the spirit, it is warfare. For every time you declare, I am chosen, you silence every lie that said you were forgotten. You crush every whisper that tried to convince you that you were unworthy. You break agreement with fear, shame, and rejection. And instead you align yourself with heaven's eternal choice. You are marked, beloved, marked since the beginning. And now the time has come to wear that mark, not as a burden but as a crown. Chosen one. Do you realize the power you carry within you? The light inside you is not fragile, it is unshakable. It is a flame that cannot be extinguished. No matter how much darkness has tried to surround you, you may not have always recognized it, but others have felt it. The atmosphere shifts when you walk into a room. Conversation pause. Hearts stir. Spirits react. Why? Because your light terrifies the darkness. The enemy has always known what you carry. even in the seasons when you did not. That is why attacks came against you so young, so suddenly, so relentlessly. He saw the potential within you, and he feared what would happen if you ever discovered it. The lies, the doubts, the rejections, they were all strategic, designed to dim your flame before you realized its full power. But you must see the truth now. The attacks were proof of your anointing. Hell only wars against what heaven has crowned. Think of how many times you have walked into situations where something felt off, but you couldn't explain why. That sensitivity was your spirit discerning the clash between your light and the darkness around you. Demons recognized it before you did. They saw the mark on your life, the fire of heaven resting within you. That is why certain people resisted you without cause. Why hostility sometimes rose without explanation. It was not personal. It was spiritual. And yet, despite everything that came against you, your light remains. You may feel small at times, but the light inside you is mighty. Even the faintest candle pierces through the deepest night. And you are no candle, you are a torch. That is why, when you speak, chains can tremble. When you pray, atmospheres shift. When you step into obedience, entire regions can feel the ripple. You carry what others cannot manufacture, divine fire that exposes and dismantles darkness. The prophet Isaiah proclaimed in the book of Isaiah, chapter 41, verse 10, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God, and chosen one." Fear is the weapon darkness uses to try to silence your flame. The enemy wants you to shrink, to hide, to believe you are too weak to make an impact. But hear the promise: God Himself is with you. That is why your light will never go out. It does not depend on your own strength, it flows from His Spirit within you. That is why the more you lean on Him, the brighter you shine. You must understand that your presence alone disrupts the plans of darkness. Even without saying a word, your spirit carries authority. This is not arrogance. It is reality. Darkness fears exposure, and you are a living reminder that the light of heaven still shines. That is why God preserved you, refined you, and now calls you to stand boldly in what you carry. When you stop hiding your light, entire atmospheres will change. Homes will find peace. Hearts will awaken. Chains will break. You may not see the full ripple, but heaven does. Every step you take in faith is like striking a match in a darkened room. And where there is light, darkness cannot remain. So lift your head, chosen one. Stop underestimating yourself. Stop believing the lies that your life is ordinary. You are a vessel of divine fire, carrying a presence that cannot be quenched, no matter the storms, no matter the battles. Your light has not been extinguished, it has only grown brighter. And now, it is time to walk in that truth. You are not hidden anymore. You are not silenced anymore. You are rising as a flame that terrifies the night. Chosen one. The moment has arrived where the veil begins to lift, and the true purpose behind your journey comes into focus. This is the unveiling of your assignment, the divine mission that heaven has been preparing you for since before you were born. All the battles, the tears, the rejection, the hidden seasons, they were not random. They were the training ground for what is now being placed in your hands. You may have thought at times that you were simply wandering, that your struggles were meaningless. But heaven wastes nothing. Every storm shaped your spirit. Every unanswered question carved out humility and dependence. Every test built the endurance required to carry a greater weight of glory. And now, chosen one, heaven is declaring, the assignment is here. But do not be mistaken, this assignment is not small. It is not light. It is not for the faint of heart. It requires courage. It requires surrender. It requires a yes that costs you something. Yet, the same God who chose you is the God who will strengthen you to complete it. The mission is greater than your personal comfort. It carries eternal weight, influencing lives, generations, and even realms unseen. That is why the urgency is real. Heaven is calling for your obedience. Not tomorrow, not someday, but now. The enemy will whisper, "You are not ready. You are too broken. You need more time." But those are lies meant to delay what God has already declared. Heaven knows you are ready. Even if you doubt yourself, your assignment has been tailor-made for your unique journey. You were not chosen by accident. The Spirit of the Lord speaks in the book of Acts. Chapter 1, verse 8. You will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes on you. Over. Do you see it? The power is not your own. It is His Spirit within you. The mission set before you cannot be done in human strength. But it will not require human strength. Heaven's power rests upon you. Angels are aligned to assist you. The Spirit will guide you with wisdom beyond your years and courage beyond your flesh. And chosen one, understand this. Your yes is the key that unlocks heaven's movement on earth. Until you step forward, the assignment remains waiting. Angels stand by, their hands on their swords, their eyes fixed on you, ready to move at the sound of your obedience. This is why the message must not remain silent. Others need to hear this truth, to awaken to their own calling, to realize that heaven has assignments prepared for them too. Your sharing of this word may be the very spark that sets another soul free. That is why I ask sincerely, if this resonates with your spirit, don't keep it to yourself, share it. Let it reach the hearts that are searching, the ones who feel forgotten, the ones who need to remember they, too, are chosen. And if you have not yet done so, stay connected. Subscribe so you do not miss the words heaven is pouring out in this season, not for the sake of numbers, but because your spirit needs continual nourishment, continual reminders of the assignment you carry. When you remain connected, you remain strengthened. When you stay in this flow, you are less likely to forget the urgency of your yes. So take this moment not just as a message, but as a mantle. Heaven is handing you the scroll of your purpose. Will you receive it? Will you say yes? Will you step into the very thing you were created for? Chosen one. The assignment is unveiled. The decision is now. Heaven is watching. Angels are waiting. And your yes will echo, not just in time, but in eternity. Chosen one. You must understand where you are standing right now. You are not wandering anymore. You are standing on the edge of destiny. The season you are in is not just another chapter. It is the threshold of breakthrough. You are one step away from the door that will shift everything. One step away from the moment where what was promised in the quiet will manifest in the open. One step away from the day when your hidden obedience will become visible glory. Can you feel the weight of it? The atmosphere around you has been heavy, almost as if the air itself has been pressing on your spirit. That pressure is not random, it is the tension before the release. Just as the night feels darkest before dawn, the heaviness you sense is a sign that breakthrough is near. Heaven's armies are in position. The angels are already standing by, waiting for the signal of your yes, the step of your faith, the word from your mouth that aligns with God's promise. The battles you have fought have brought you here. Every time you refused to quit, every time you held on, even when you felt like letting go, you moved closer to this threshold. You did not know it at the time, but each choice to persevere was moving you forward. And now heaven is saying, you are closer than you think. Do not let discouragement blind you. The enemy always fights hardest right before the breakthrough. He throws distractions, confusion, and even weariness because he knows the door is about to open. But chosen one, you cannot give in now. You cannot retreat when you are one step away. Heaven is declaring that the season of waiting is ending, and the season of walking in fulfillment is at hand. The prophet Habakkuk wrote in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, "For the revelation awaits an appointed time, though it linger. Wait for it, it will certainly come and will not delay." Chosen one. The angels are watching your response right now. Your next step, your next declaration, carries power in the unseen realm. This is why you must align yourself with heaven, not only in thought, but in action. Make a prophetic move. Do something that signals to heaven, I believe. I will not retreat. I will not delay my yes. And here is one such act of faith. Type the number 444 in the comments. Why 444? Because it represents open doors, divine alignment, and the stability of heaven's foundation under your feet. It is a way of declaring, I am stepping through the door that God has placed before me. I will not shrink back. I will walk forward. It is not just digits on a screen. It is a prophetic declaration into the spiritual realm. By typing it, you are not performing a ritual. You are making a statement. You are saying, I see where I am standing. I know heaven is waiting. I choose to walk forward in faith. It is simple, yet powerful, because heaven responds to faith even when expressed in small acts. Chosen one, let your heart be steady. Do not let fear steal this moment. The breakthrough is not far, it is here. The door is not locked, it is waiting. Your yes, your obedience, your declaration is the key. Take the step. The angels are standing by. Heaven is leaning in, and the promise is about to unfold before your eyes. Chosen one, there is a voice that has been echoing in your spirit, sometimes soft as a whisper, other times roaring like thunder. It is the voice that calls you higher. You have heard it in the quiet moments, when everything else was still and your heart stirred with a longing you could not explain. You have felt it in the middle of chaos, when you suddenly knew deep down, I cannot stay here any longer. I was made for more. And that voice is not your imagination. It is the Spirit of God, drawing you out of the ordinary into the extraordinary. It is heaven's reminder that you were never meant to settle for a life of mediocrity. You were not designed to live in the shadows, shrinking back from your true calling. You were made to walk boldly in the fullness of who God has called you to be. This voice has been persistent, even when you tried to ignore it, even when you attempted to silence it by drowning yourself in distractions. It remained. Why? because heaven never stops calling its chosen ones higher. That call is relentless because your destiny is too important to be abandoned. The Spirit knows what has been placed inside you, and He refuses to let you waste it. Think about the times you have tried to remain comfortable. You told yourself you would just stay quiet, blend in, keep your head down. But the unease grew stronger. Comfort became uncomfortable. Stillness became restlessness. That was heaven's way of saying, rise, move, step forward. Do not settle here. And every chosen one faces this moment, the crossroads between the familiar and the unknown. The familiar is safe, predictable, and easy to manage. The unknown feels risky, terrifying even. But it is the place of promise, and the voice of God is always calling you into the unknown, into deeper waters, into places where faith is required, because in those places, His glory is revealed most powerfully. You must recognize this truth. The higher call is not about position, fame, or recognition. It is about surrender. It is about yielding your will for His. It is about laying down your own plans and embracing the divine blueprint that was written for your life long before you arrived on earth. That is why the call feels so weighty. It requires all of you, but it is also why the call is so glorious. It will fill you with more purpose, joy, and fulfillment than anything else ever could. The Apostle Paul assures us in the book of Ephesians, chapter 3, verse 20, "Now to Him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine." And the voice that calls you higher is also the voice that equips you. It does not merely summon you to a place of promise and then leave you alone. No, the Spirit walks with you, strengthens you, and carries you when your strength runs out. That is why you can trust the call. If He is leading you, He will also sustain you. Do not resist the pull. Chosen one, do not fear the climb. The higher call may stretch you, but it will also transform you. It will strip away what is shallow and awaken what is eternal. It will demand your obedience, but it will also reveal your destiny. Lift your ears to that voice. It is not leading you into emptiness, it is leading you into fullness. It is calling you out of the shadows and into the light, out of the temporary and into the eternal. Do not silence it. Do not ignore it. Yield to it. And you will discover that the place God is calling you to is far greater than the place you are leaving behind. Chosen one, have you noticed how fierce the battle has been around your yes, from the moment you began to sense God's pull on your spirit? Opposition intensified. Distractions multiplied. Attacks came from directions you never expected. It felt as though the very air turned against you at times, pressing hard to silence your agreement with heaven. That is no accident. The war has never been about your comfort. It has always been about your surrender. Every chosen one encounters this fight. The enemy knows that your yes carries immeasurable weight. When you agree with heaven, chains break, generations shift, atmospheres change. So of course, He fights it. He does not waste resources on those who pose no threat. He focuses His fiercest attacks on those who carry divine fire. That is why you felt targeted, singled out, and misunderstood. You were not cursed. You were recognized by darkness as a danger. The war over your yes explains the strange patterns of your life. Have you wondered why relationships crumbled just when you were on the brink of rising? Have you noticed how fear and doubt tried to grip you strongest right when opportunities appeared? These were not coincidences. They were tactics, aimed at convincing you to withhold your obedience. But here is the truth. Chosen one, every time you resisted despair, every time you pressed forward, every time you whispered, "God, I still trust you," you were winning battles in the unseen realm. You may not have realized it, but heaven was watching. Angels were recording, and victory was being secured. The Apostle Peter reminds us in the first letter of Peter, chapter 5, verse 10, "And the God of all grace will himself restore you and make you strong. Then let this promise anchor you. The war may have left you weary, but restoration is guaranteed." The God of all grace is not only watching the battle, he is ensuring your victory. He is turning every blow into strength, every loss into wisdom, every scar into authority. What looked like destruction was actually construction, building within you the resilience required for your calling. Understand this: the war over your yes is not meant to break you, it is meant to refine you. The more intense the resistance, the greater the assignment. You were not being punished, you were being proven, like gold in the furnace. Your spirit has been purified through fire, and now it gleams with a brilliance that cannot be denied. And do not forget, chosen one, the enemy fears not just your yes, but the ripple of it. Your obedience will not stop with you. It will touch those connected to you, your family, your friends, your community. It will ignite courage in others who are silently struggling. That is why the battle has been generational in scope, seeking to silence you before your obedience silences him. Yet here you are, still standing, still chosen, still hearing the call of heaven. That is evidence enough that the enemy has failed. He threw his best, and it was not enough to stop you. Your yes is still intact, waiting to be released. So take courage. Beloved, the war over your yes has been fierce, but it has not been final. What the enemy designed as a trap has become your testimony. The very weight that pressed against you is now the proof that you are carrying something worth fighting for. Lift your head and remember, your yes is stronger than every no the enemy tried to force on you. Heaven's choice over your life cannot be revoked. And though the war was real, the victory is even more certain. Chosen one, there is something you must feel with urgency. You cannot delay this moment. Heaven has extended mercy. Yes, grace has carried you through seasons where you wandered. Yes, but now the Spirit is making it clear the window of opportunity is before you, and hesitation can cost more than you realize. Do you remember how many times you said to yourself, "I'll change tomorrow. I'll surrender later. I'll take it seriously when I'm ready"? But tomorrow kept slipping away. Later never came. And yet, God's mercy covered you again and again. That mercy has not run out. But the Spirit is whispering that the time of lingering is ending. There comes a moment when delay becomes disobedience, not because God is cruel, but because His timing is perfect. The doors He opens do not remain open forever. When He calls, you must answer. When He says, "Move," you must move. And right now, His voice is calling you forward, asking for your full obedience without hesitation. The enemy loves delay. He knows he cannot strip your calling. So he distracts you until you forfeit it yourself. He whispers that you have more time, that there's no rush, that you can give God half of your heart, and save the rest for later. But every delay makes your spirit weaker. Every hesitation gives the enemy another foothold. This is why the Spirit presses on your heart now. Do not delay. The prophet Joel proclaimed in the book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 25, I will repay you for the years the locusts have eaten. Do you hear the hope in those words? Even if delay has stolen years from you, God promises restoration. Even if hesitation has cost you opportunities, His grace can recover what was lost. But the restoration begins with your obedience. He cannot restore what you will not surrender. The repayment is waiting, but it is unlocked by your yes. Think about the edge of a cliff. A single step forward leads to breathtaking horizons. A single step backward keeps you trapped in the same place. That is where you stand, spiritually on the edge. One choice away from transformation. You cannot afford to keep looking behind you. You cannot afford to keep saying, later. The call is now. This is not meant to scare you, but to awaken you. Mercy is still here. The door is still open. The angels are still waiting, but the time to respond is now. You do not need every detail. You do not need every question answered. You simply need to step forward in trust. And here is how you can seal that trust right now. Declare it publicly with a simple prophetic phrase. Type these words in the comments. I choose now. Why these words? Because they silence the lie of delay. They break the pattern of procrastination. They mark a shift in your spirit from someday to today. When you declare it, you are not just typing letters. You are aligning your life with heaven's timing. You are saying to God, I will not wait any longer. I give you my yes in this very moment. Oh, do not underestimate such an act. Prophetic declarations may look small in the natural, but they carry weight in the spiritual. It is the choice to agree with heaven openly. The refusal to let fear or hesitation mute your response any longer. Chosen one. The time is now. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Now. And when you step into obedience, heaven will respond with restoration, acceleration, and the repayment of everything lost. Your delay ends here. Your new beginning starts today. Chosen one. There is something sacred unfolding in this very moment. Heaven is watching, and the record of your response is being written. Your yes is not simply a whisper in your heart. It is a decree in the spirit realm. Every angel assigned to your life stands ready, waiting for the command that comes not from heaven alone, but from your agreement with heaven. The battle has been fierce. The war over your soul relentless. But right now the tide is shifting. What you choose in this hour will not just impact your life, it will echo through eternity. Do you realize the authority you carry? When you agree with God, angels move at the speed of obedience. They wait for the signal, and that signal is your surrender. The plans of heaven are written, but they are activated when you align yourself with them. Every moment you hesitate, the angels wait. Every time you declare yes, they advance. That is why this is not casual, it is cosmic. Heaven's record is perfect. Nothing is overlooked. Nothing forgotten. Every tear, every act of faith, every yes spoken in the quiet, when no one was watching it, is written down. And now, the angels stand by, ready to move on your behalf as soon as you open your mouth in obedience. This is why your surrender is so powerful. It is not just about you, it is about unleashing heaven's strategy into the earth. The Spirit declares through the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 31, "If God is for us, who can be against us?" Do you see it? That is heaven's guarantee. Your enemy may rise. Opposition may form. But when God is on your side, no force can stand against you. The angels that surround you are not weak, they are mighty. And yet, they await your yes. The heavenly host does not act apart from your agreement. Because God has entrusted you with the authority of choice, your yes unlocks their assignment. Chosen one. Your obedience carries generational weight. When you choose God now, you are not only securing your destiny, but you are shifting the course for those who come after you. Your yes builds bridges for others to cross. Your surrender becomes the testimony that awakens another soul who thought they had no hope left. The angels move for you, but the ripple of their movement touches countless lives connected to yours. This is why I must pause and say something important. Don't keep this moment to yourself. If the Spirit is stirring you right now, then let this word flow beyond you. Share it. Someone you know is fighting in silence, desperate for a sign, waiting for a word. Your sharing may be the exact lifeline they need. Do not underestimate the power of passing on a word from heaven. And if you have not yet done so, remain connected. Subscribe, not as an act of routine, but as a commitment to keep your spirit fed, sharpened, and aligned with heaven's frequency. These messages are not empty, they are manna. Reminders that you are chosen, that you are not walking alone, that heaven's plan for you is still alive. Staying connected means staying strong. So here is the question only you can answer. Will you give heaven your yes? Will you release the angels waiting by, ready to advance on your behalf? Will you choose to stand where you've been called to stand, even if it costs you comfort, even if it demands courage? Chosen one. Heaven is recording this moment. Your yes is not small. It is the sound that makes darkness tremble and angels move. Speak it. Live it. Believe it. And let your surrender echo through eternity. Chosen one. Can you sense it? The weight of glory that has been reserved for you is not far off. It is prepared, waiting, ready to be placed upon you. The crown that heaven has fashioned is not symbolic only, it is a real spiritual authority. A mantle that distinguishes those who refused to bow to fear, those who stood when others fell, those who chose obedience even when it cost everything. The journey you have walked has not been easy. You have endured valleys where the shadows seemed endless, nights when tears felt like your only companion, and seasons when betrayal broke your heart. But through it all, you kept going. You may have stumbled, but you did not stop. You may have felt weak, but you did not surrender. And heaven marks that perseverance with honor. The crown prepared for you is not given lightly. It is not for the faint of heart. It is bestowed upon those who endure, those who keep the faith, those who embrace their calling, even when the path is narrow. Every scar you carry has become part of the jewels set in that crown. Every sacrifice you made in secret has been woven into its design. Understand this, the crown is not about earthly recognition. It is not about applause or human praise. It is about heaven's acknowledgement that you remained faithful. It is the reward of obedience, the seal of your alignment with the King's will. When heaven places that crown upon your head, it is a declaration. This one stood. This one obeyed. This one is mine. The Apostle Paul urges in the first letter to Timothy, chapter 6, verse 12, "Fight the good fight of the faith, take hold of the eternal life." That fight, chosen one, is what you have been engaged in all along, and your persistence in that fight is what qualifies you for the crown. You are not crowned because you were flawless, you are crowned because you were faithful. You did not give up when quitting would have been easier. You did not turn back when the path grew steep. You pressed forward, clinging to the eternal life promised to you. The glory that comes with the crown is more than personal, it is generational. When heaven crowns you, the authority on your life increases. Your prayers carry more weight. Your words pierce deeper. Your presence shifts atmospheres with even greater force. You become not only a carrier of light, but a distributor of it, imparting courage and faith to those who cross your path. Do not think lightly of this. Crowns are not adornments, they are assignments. They represent rule, authority, and stewardship. To wear the crown is to be trusted with more. It is to step into greater responsibility, greater influence, greater impact, and heaven would not place it upon you if you had not proven ready. This is why the journey was so fierce, because the crown was always waiting. This is why you faced so much resistance, because your authority would terrify the enemy once it was placed upon you. Every battle was confirmation that the crown was real. Every storm was evidence that the reward was near. Chosen one. Lift your head. You are not a victim of your past. You are the victor crowned in glory. Do not fear the weight of the crown. It was made for you. It fits your head because it was designed from eternity with your name engraved upon it. Soon, you will stand, crowned and radiant, a living testimony of God's faithfulness and your perseverance. Chosen one. There is a mystery in the way heaven aligns your journey. Nothing is random. Nothing is wasted. Every delay, every redirection, every unexpected twist was part of a divine sequence designed to bring you into perfect alignment with your destiny. You may not have seen it then, but heaven was weaving patterns, using numbers, seasons, and signs to reassure you that you are not walking alone. Numbers in Scripture have always carried prophetic weight. They are not superstitions, they are signals. They remind God's people of promises, seasons, and divine timing. And you, beloved, are now in a moment where heaven is giving you a sign to confirm what your spirit already knows. You are stepping into alignment. The prophetic number set before you in this hour is 555. Why? Because 5 is the number of grace, and tripled, it becomes the fullness of divine grace and favor poured out without measure. It means that what is unfolding in your life right now is not by your strength, but by His unrelenting grace. You did not earn this moment. You were chosen for it. You could not have orchestrated these alignments yourself. Heaven is orchestrating them for you. Think back on the times you almost gave up. Grace kept you. Think of the seasons when provision came from nowhere. Grace carried you. Think of the battles you survived that should have broken you. Grace preserved you. And now, heaven declares that grace will not only sustain you, but propel you forward into new realms of purpose and promise. The voice of the Lord declares in the book of Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 1, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." Oh, do you hear it? This is your moment to rise, not in your own effort, not by forcing doors open, but by standing in the grace already poured upon your life. Heaven's glory is rising over you, confirming that the delay has ended and the time of shining has come. The prophetic number 555 is heaven's way of saying, "My grace is sufficient, and my glory will cover you." But prophetic acts require response. Heaven does not simply reveal signs for us to admire them, they are invitations to agreement. This is why I urge you, as a step of faith, type 555 the comments. It is more than numbers. It is a declaration that you receive the grace being released over you. By writing it, you are prophetically saying, "I am aligned with heaven's plan. I will not move by fear. I will move by grace." Do not dismiss the simplicity of this act. In the natural, it seems small, but in the spirit, it is weighty. Every act of faith becomes a seed, and heaven multiplies it. By declaring 555, you are planting a seed of alignment that will bear fruit in ways you cannot yet imagine. Chosen one, let your spirit rest in this truth. You are not stepping into the next chapter by effort, but by grace. You are not entering by striving, but by divine favor. And as you agree with heaven, the angels assigned to you move into their positions, clearing obstacles and making paths straight. Grace is your foundation. Grace is your banner. Grace is your confirmation. And with heaven's sign of 555, you can move forward with boldness, knowing you are aligned perfectly with the will of God. Chosen one, the time has come for you to see yourself as heaven has always seen you, not merely as a survivor of battles, but as a torchbearer for those still in chains. Your calling is not only about what God has done in you, it is also about what He intends to do through you. The fire you carry was never meant to remain contained within your own life. It was placed in you to set others free, to ignite courage in those who feel forgotten, to break darkness for those who have no strength left to fight. When you walk into a room, the atmosphere does not remain the same. Light does not simply coexist with darkness, it disrupts it. And that disruption is your assignment. The same Spirit who carried you through valleys now burns within you, making you a vessel of freedom for others. Every prayer you pray carries weight. Every word of encouragement you speak plants seeds of deliverance. Every act of obedience sends ripples into places you may never see with your natural eyes. You have seen enough pain to understand the agony of bondage. That is why your compassion runs deep. You recognize the silent battles others carry, because you have carried your own. And because of this, your presence is more than comforting, it is liberating. People may not know why they feel lighter around you, why hope suddenly rises when you speak, why courage begins to spark in their hearts. It is because your light terrifies the darkness that once oppressed them. Do not underestimate the power of what you carry. The enemy has tried to convince you that your voice does not matter, that your influence is small, that your presence changes nothing. Those are lies meant to silence the very torch entrusted to you. In reality, your influence is eternal. The ripple of one act of obedience can reach generations, setting off chains of transformation that stretch far beyond your lifetime. The Apostle Paul affirms in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 6, "For God, who said, 'Let light shine out of darkness,' made His light shine in our hearts." And that light is not abstract, it is real. burning in you now. It is the same power that spoke creation into existence, the same light that shattered the tomb on resurrection morning. That light is alive in you, and it cannot be quenched. You are not merely a follower of the light, you are a bearer of it. A torch in the hands of the Almighty, chosen one. This calling is not without cost. To carry a torch means you will be noticed. Darkness will not ignore you, but neither will heaven. Angels surround you because of what you carry, and their assignment is to ensure the flame never dies out. But your role is to lift that torch high, to let it burn where others have surrendered to despair, to shine where shadows have claimed victory for too long. This is why you endured such trials. The torchbearers are always tested by fire before they are entrusted with fire. What burned you did not destroy you, it branded you, making you a carrier of holy flame. And now, with every step you take, that flame spreads, igniting hearts, breaking chains, scattering darkness. You are chosen not only to survive, but to lead. You are a living signpost of God's faithfulness, a reminder to others that victory is possible, that freedom is real, that light still wins. Never again see yourself as small. Chosen one, you are a torchbearer, marked to carry hope into the darkest places, and the world is waiting for the fire within you to blaze without restraint. Chosen one, you must understand a truth that many shy away from. There is always a cost to the calling. To walk as one set apart, to live as one chosen, requires sacrifice. You have already felt this in your journey, the relationships that could not continue with you, the opportunities that slipped away, the seasons of loneliness that left you aching. These were not punishments, they were the price of being different. Heaven never promised that the path of the chosen would be easy. In fact, the very weight of glory resting on your life demands endurance. To carry heaven's fire, you must first pass through earthly refining. That refining often feels like loss, but in truth it is transformation. Gold does not shine without fire. Diamonds do not emerge without pressure. And your spirit, too, has been tested so that the true brilliance of your calling could be revealed. You may look back and ask, why did I have to lose so much? Why did I suffer when others seem to live without struggle? The answer is hidden in your identity. You are chosen. While others lived ordinary lives, you were being prepared for extraordinary impact. The depth of your pain matches the height of your destiny. The weight of your trials corresponds to the measure of your authority. The Apostle Paul wrote in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 18, I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. And these words are not poetry, they are prophecy. The cost you have paid cannot be compared to the glory waiting to be unveiled in you. Every sacrifice will be answered with a reward beyond measure. Every tear will be turned into oil that flows to heal others. Every lonely night will become a testimony that sets captives free. You have not suffered in vain. You have invested in eternal glory. Chosen one. The price is high, but so is the reward. The crown prepared for you is not temporary, it is eternal. Earthly applause fades. Worldly treasures vanish. But the glory of heaven endures forever. That is why heaven urges you to keep going. Even when the journey feels heavy, do not despise the cost, for it is proof that your destiny is priceless. Consider this: those who carry little pay little. But those entrusted with much must give much. You are not ordinary, and therefore your sacrifices will never be ordinary. You were born to carry a torch that lights the way for multitudes, and such a mantle demands preparation that others may never understand. Let them question. Let them misinterpret. Heaven understands, and that is enough. And know this: every cost you have borne will be redeemed. God wastes nothing. The friendships you lost, the seasons that felt empty, the opportunities that slipped away, they will all be repaid with something far greater. For every door that closed, a greater one will open. For every betrayal, a deeper communion with God has been formed. For every moment of weakness, His strength has been perfected in you. The cost is real, but the glory is greater, and soon you will see that the sacrifices were not losses at all. They were exchanges. You gave up what was temporary in order to gain what is eternal. You surrendered what was fragile in order to inherit what cannot be shaken. And when the glory is revealed, you will look back and know it was worth it all. Chosen one. There is one danger that remains for every soul walking in destiny: the temptation to look back. The enemy knows he cannot erase your calling, so he tries to chain you to your past. He whispers reminders of failures, magnifies old wounds, and lures you with what God has already called you out of. But heaven is clear. Your assignment is forward, not behind. Looking back has always been the strategy of darkness. Remember the story of Lot's wife. Her longing for what was left behind turned her into stone, frozen in a place she was never meant to remain. That is what the enemy wants for you: to paralyze your progress by chaining you to old seasons. But, chosen one, you cannot afford to turn back. The past has nothing for you now. You may feel tempted to revisit old relationships, old habits, or old ways of thinking, especially in moments of weariness. But those paths no longer align with the fire inside you. You are not who you used to be. You have been refined, renewed, and marked for greater. To step back would not only stall your journey, it would dishonor the price you have already paid. The psalmist sings in the book of Psalms, chapter 118, verse 17, "I will not die but live, and will proclaim what the Lord has done." Chosen one, your courage must now be focused on the future. It takes strength to let go. It takes bravery to walk away from comfort, from familiarity, from the people and places that once defined you. But your destiny demands it. What is ahead of you is greater than what is behind you. The glory of the next chapter cannot be compared to the shadows of yesterday. And here is the truth: every step you take forward terrifies the enemy. He cannot follow you into the fullness of your calling. That is why he works so hard to drag you back, because he knows he cannot stop you once you keep moving forward. His only power is in deception, and his greatest weapon is nostalgia. But the Spirit of the Lord says, do not look back. Keep moving. What is behind you cannot compare to what is ahead. Oh, this is the moment where your voice matters. Not just in silence, but in declaration. If this word is confirming what your spirit already knows, I encourage you to take a prophetic step of faith. Like this message, share it with someone who needs the reminder, and subscribe so that your spirit remains nourished by truth. These are not small gestures, they are choices to align yourself with the flow of heaven, ensuring you don't walk this journey alone. And as you seal this truth, let your words echo it. In the comments, write, I will not look back. Those 4 words are not casual, they are warfare. They declare to the enemy that you are breaking ties with your past. They remind your own heart that your eyes are fixed on the promise ahead. They mark the moment you choose forward momentum over backward longing. Remember, chosen one, your future is brighter than your past. Your calling heavier than your comfort. Your crown far more valuable than your chains. You have come too far, endured too much, and been refined too deeply to return to what no longer serves you. Heaven is urging you onward. Angels are clearing the path before you. Keep your eyes forward, for destiny awaits. Chosen one, the sound of heaven is shifting. Can you feel it? It is not just a whisper now, but like a trumpet resounding in the distance, growing louder with each passing moment. It is the final call to rise, the last summons for you to step fully into the assignment marked on your life. You may have delayed in the past, wrestled with doubt, or questioned your worthiness, but heaven has waited patiently, and now the voice of God comes to you one more time, clear and undeniable. Rise. The time is now. This call is not for the faint of heart. It is not for those who desire comfort above all else. It is for those who are willing to be stretched, to walk into the unknown, to surrender control and trust the one who called them. That is why you feel the weight of this moment in your chest. It is not just another day. It is a divine appointment. Heaven has been aligning circumstances, shaping your heart, and preparing the path so that when this call reached you, you would recognize it instantly. The final call to rise is not only about stepping into personal blessing, it is about stepping into responsibility. To rise is to accept that your life is no longer your own. It belongs to the one who chose you, redeemed you, and filled you with his spirit. To rise is to say, yes, Lord, I will go where you send me, even if I don't have all the answers. It is surrender, but it is also empowerment, because when you rise, heaven rises with you. The prophet Zechariah records in the book of Zechariah, chapter 4, verse 6, "Not by might, nor by power, but by my Spirit, says the Lord Almighty." This is why you do not need to fear the call. It is not dependent on your strength or your qualifications. It does not matter how many times you have failed, how many doubts have haunted you, or how small you feel in the face of the assignment. The Spirit of God Himself will empower you. The same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead now breathes within you. That power cannot be contained, and it cannot be stopped. Chosen one. The final call is also urgent. The world is darkening, and the hour is late. There are people who need the light you carry. Chains that will only break because of your obedience. Lives that will only shift when you step into your place. You are not just being called for yourself, you are being called for them. Your rising is their hope. Your obedience is their breakthrough. This is why heaven presses so strongly now. The angels are not idle, they are leaning in, waiting for you to stand. They know the impact of your yes. They see the ripple it will create, far greater than anything you can see with your natural eyes. And they are ready to move the moment you align yourself fully with heaven's command. The final call to rise is both sobering and exhilarating. Sobering, because it reminds you of the cost. Exhilarating, because it assures you of the glory that follows. Yes, there will be resistance, But there will also be victory. Yes, there will be trials. But there will also be testimonies. Yes, the road may stretch beyond your strength, but His Spirit will never fail you. So, chosen one, let your spirit awaken. Shake off the weariness. Silence the doubts. Fix your eyes on the horizon where heaven's light is breaking forth. The trumpet is sounding. The final call is here. And it is calling for you to rise, not tomorrow, not later, but now, chosen one. This is the moment heaven has been guiding you toward the place where your yes is no longer a whisper of intention, but a seal of covenant. You have journeyed through valleys, endured storms, carried weights that felt too heavy, and yet you stand. And standing here, your yes becomes more than a decision. It becomes a decree that aligns earth with heaven. When you say yes, you are not just agreeing to follow, you are embracing the crown and commission prepared for you since the beginning. A crown, not made by human hands, but forged in the fires of trial and refined by the hand of God. A commission, not written on paper, but etched into your very spirit by the breath of the Almighty. This is the culmination of your journey, crowned and commissioned. The crown is a mark of victory. It is not handed out for ease or comfort, but for perseverance. It is heaven's way of saying, this one endured, this one believed, this one is mine. Every tear you shed, every sacrifice you made, every step you took in faith, these were jewels added to your crown. What once felt like loss has become the evidence of triumph. But the crown is only the beginning, for with the crown comes the commission. You are not crowned simply to stand still, you are crowned to be sent. The authority placed upon your head flows into the mission placed in your hands. You are commissioned to walk boldly in your assignment, to carry heaven's torch into places that have long been overshadowed, to release the freedom you yourself have received. The Apostle Peter reminds us in the first letter of Peter, chapter 2, verse 9, "But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, chosen one." Do you see it? You are not ordinary. You are royal, holy, set apart for divine purpose. The crown declares your identity. The commission declares your destiny. Together, they affirm that you are unstoppable, unshakable, and irreplaceable in the plan of God. This commission will not always be easy. To be sent means to face resistance, to step into places others avoid, to shine in territories still bound by darkness. But you do not go alone. The crown upon your head testifies that heaven backs you. The commission in your hand guarantees that the Spirit walks with you, and the angels assigned to you are now released to guard, guide, and war alongside you. Your yes has triggered movements in the unseen realm. What was waiting is now active. What was hidden is now revealed. What was delayed is now accelerated. All because you chose to stand, to obey, to say, yes, chosen one. Wear the crown humbly but boldly. Carry the commission with reverence but also with courage. You have been chosen not just to survive, but to lead. Not just to endure, but to establish. Not just to believe, but to transform. Heaven calls you torchbearer, crown-bearer, ambassador of the King. And the earth is waiting for the sound of your steps as you walk in what you were always destined to do. Chosen one, You have reached the end of this message, but not the end of your journey. What has been spoken over you is not a story to admire from a distance. It is the truth of your life, the calling written into your very being. You are crowned. You are commissioned. You are chosen. The heavens have confirmed it. The Word has declared it, and your spirit has borne witness to it. Now, the question is not whether you are called, it is whether you will continue to walk in that calling daily. Every sunrise brings with it the chance to reaffirm your yes. Every challenge is an opportunity to demonstrate the authority resting on you. Every step forward shakes the kingdom of darkness and affirms that your destiny is unshakable. But remember, you are not meant to walk this journey alone. Heaven provides strength. The Spirit provides guidance. And a community of chosen ones walks alongside you. That is why I encourage you, sincerely and humbly. If this message has touched your heart, do not let it stop here. Share it, so that another weary soul might hear what they desperately need. Like it, not for numbers, but as a way of saying, this word is truth, and I agree with it. Subscribe, not for routine, but to stay connected to a flow of messages that will continue to strengthen your spirit. And as a prophetic seal, let your voice be heard in the comments. Write with boldness, I say yes. It may look simple, but in the spiritual realm, it is thunder. It is your declaration that you choose destiny, that you embrace your crown, that you step forward into your commission. Chosen one, you are ready. The world is waiting. Heaven is with you. Walk now in the fullness of your calling.